welcome. USA, USA, USA. All right. Wow. I love it. It's an honor to be here, talking to everyone here and everyone out there. Yeah. Before what I want to emphasize before anything else is as the sign says, vote early and vote now. So you can actually. I looked at the numbers as of yesterday. There's still 40,000 absentee ballots that have been mailed out just in the surrounding counties, just in the nearby area, that have not been handed in. So if you have any friends, family, or anyone you know who has an absentee ballot, just hound them relentlessly until they hand it in. Because if they don't hand it in, then the vote doesn't count. It's pretty straightforward. So there's 40,000 absentee ballots that really need to be handed in just in this area. So please, talk to friends and family. Get a vote. The other thing is that anyone in Pennsylvania can go to the county office on Monday and Tuesday and request a ballot, and immediately there hand it in. So I think probably a lot of people are not aware that you can actually do this. You don't even need to mail it. It's like it's kind of weird because it's like called an absentee ballot, but you're like right there. You're clearly not absent. Can I have an absentee ballot? But you're here. Yes. As strange as that sounds, you can literally go in, request an absentee ballot, and even though you're right there, you can hand it in. And you did this morning, great. And I think maybe some county offices are open on the weekend, but they're definitely open on Monday and Tuesday. And then to add another strange twist, they close on Wednesday. So they're like, now what? So you have until just Monday and Tuesday in Pennsylvania to go into the county office, request a ballot, and you can hand it in right there. It doesn't even need to go in the mail or anything. And that's the best way to do it. But you can use the mail, but you can just do it right in person. And then for some reason on Wednesday you cannot do it anymore until November 5th. So that's thus high urgency for Monday and Tuesday. Big deal. And this is an election that I think, frankly, is a fork in the road of destiny. It really is. So, it's essential. So, it's like we need safe cities, secure borders, sensible spending. I mean, basic stuff. And we need to get rid of the well, yeah, but I mean, it's like I always feel like it's bad to attack Kamala because she's just a puppet, but it's just, it's just a machine. It's just like this big government machine, and there's a puppet, and it's like no point in attacking the puppet. It's just, it's like I was like. I made a joke that was sort of misconstrued, that it was like, nobody even bothers to try to kill Kamala. It's pointless. Why? Let's get another puppet. So nobody even bothers. Nobody's even tried to kill Biden. It's like, doesn't that seem odd? They tried to kill Trump twice. Yeah, exactly. I mean, listen, if somebody's already dead, what's the point of trying to kill him? So, you know, he's 1 foot and 4 toes in the grave. I mean, I saw Weekend at Bernie's, and honestly, the corpse had more life than Biden. Like, for sure, actually. So, you know, who is even running the country? Like who's in charge? It's confusing. Trump, sure, he will be, hopefully. But I just sort of wonder, like, clearly Biden is non compos mentis, so who is actually in charge? The machine. I think it's just like the big government machine, basically, is what's in charge. But it's bizarre, you know. So, yeah, I mean, obviously with Trump, the great thing is that we have a real individual who is not beholden to anyone, and that's what scares the machine, and that's why the machine's trying to kill him. Yeah. So, yeah. Wild times, man. Wild times. I mean, I've had quite a few friends call me and say, you should definitely improve your security. I'm like, that's probably a good idea. I'm like, they're definitely going to try to kill you. I'm like, yeah, that's a good chance. They might try to do that, yeah. So, yeah, exactly. If they shoot, they better not miss. So I'll find out who was behind him, not just who the gunman was. So, but it is crazy to think that you know, we have a presidential candidate that they've tried to kill twice in recent months, and they try to get him, you know, with lawfare 6 ways to Sunday to try to prevent people from actually voting in a democratic way. It's outrageous, really. What are they afraid of? So, yeah, I think it's kind of the truth. And I'd certainly encourage people, if people haven't seen the conversation between Joe Rogan and Donald Trump, that was super cool. I mean, I think for a lot of people, it's like, you know, how do you understand somebody, like, and what they're about? You know, like the sort of far left press has been going on and on about how, like, Trump is like Hitler, like Mussolini and Stalin combined, and you rolled them all into one, and he's somehow worse than all 3 of them combined. These are people who have killed tens of millions of people. And like, something's wrong with the press, guys. You know, something is wrong with the press. Journalism is dead. Like, what the heck is going on? It's bizarre. Yeah, actually, exactly. It's like, I mean, I do think like that old school journalism. I call it legacy media because it is kind of legacy media, because it is from a time when, in order to learn any news, you had to aggregate the news to some central publication, and then some editor would decide what people should hear, and then they'd print the newspaper with like a lot of paper, literally, and then distribute that paper, and that's how you learn things. But you obviously don't need that anymore. You've got the internet, so anyone can learn anything at any time. Yeah, that's why X is the future. It's citizen journalism, where you hear from the people, it's by the people, for the people. That's what it's all about. I think this is a super big deal, and it's absolutely fundamental and transformative that the people actually get to decide the news and what the narrative and what matters, and that because the legacy media is basically, you know, controlled by a handful of editors-in-chief. That's it. They decide what's going to get published. That's why I really encourage everyone out there to write stuff on the X platform, and you know, other platforms too. But citizen journalism is the future, you know, and that's where you get to hear from actual experts in the field, people who are experts in any given industry, And you get to hear the rebuttal. So if somebody says something that's wrong or requires more context, people can add that. X has got community notes, which is great. So community notes, I think, is got a very good batting average. It's not perfect, but it's got a very good batting average. Many times I've gotten requests like, can we get rid of this community note? I'm like, no, we cannot. Not even a community note on myself. So with community notes, all the code is open source, all the data is open source, so you can recreate any given community note independently. And that transparency is how you know that it's true, and it's real, and it's honest. So that's yeah. But I think we've got, besides, man, the mic feedback's getting a little crazy. So maybe should I go further back or further forward? Well, there's an X on the floor. I'm guessing that's where I should stand. Okay. Yeah. All right. All right. The landing the rocket ship was pretty cool. That was an amazing thing. So, the SpaceX team is an incredible team, and it's wild that this giant 250-ton object went to space, came back, and was caught by giant Megazilla arms. It's like, it's super cool. That's the kind of thing that that I think is inspiring and exciting, there's a lot of potential. I think we can actually build a permanently occupied science base on the moon. We can build a city on Mars. We can be a multi-planet species and out there among the stars. It's very exciting, So. I'm wearing this jacket that was given to me by the Space Force. It's got Star Trek Enterprise on it. It's like Starfleet Academy. We want to make Starfleet Academy real, and go out there and visit other star systems eventually and see if there are alien civilizations. Maybe there are alien civilizations that existed for millions of years, and we just find the ruins of many long dead alien civilizations. I don't know. Well, they might be. But it'd be very interesting to see, because, at least according to physics, the universe is 13.8 billion years old, and Earth is about 4.5 billion years old. So even if you just increment the time counter by 1 million years, you have to go 3 digits past decimal place to go, bloop, 1 million years. And the oldest writing that we've discovered in archaeology is only 5,500 years old. That's nothing. That's 1/1,000,000th of Earth's existence. It was the first writing. And you really have to hand it to the ancient Sumerians, by the way. They got a lot of firsts, those ancient Sumerians. They're really knocking it out of the park, frankly. We're just with the clay tablets and everything. It's thankfully they wrote in clay tablets. So it was quite helpful. They've even discovered schoolwork, like where they teach the kids cuneiform on clay tablets, and then there's the teacher correcting the cuneiform in red ink. It's been going on for a while. So here we are, a mere 5,500-year-old civilization, just a baby, really, but with a lot of potential. I think we can go out there, we can make life multiplanetary, understand the universe, find out what's going on. Maybe the aliens will come visit us. Maybe they are here right now. I don't know. Alien registration card. People do ask me, do I think aliens are among us? I'm like, I haven't seen any. Yeah, there's illegal aliens, but there's a lot of those. But But I haven't seen any like sort of green aliens with antennas on their head or anything like that. Maybe they're just very subtle, but I haven't seen them. So, but I think we want to be the aliens exploring other galaxies, you know. And I grew up watching Star Trek, and Star Wars was the first movie that I ever saw in a theater, and it obviously affected me a lot. And we just want to have these sort of glorious, amazing, I don't know, space future real, you know, and have exciting, inspiring things that make you glad to wake up. When you wake up in the morning, you're glad to be alive. There have to be these things. You know, life cannot, yeah. So. Yeah. So, yeah. Well, I think we can, so that you can travel to Mars roughly every 2 years. So every 26 months, the planets align, and you can travel from Earth to Mars. And we're actually at a planetary alignment moment right now, or in the next few months. And so in roughly 2 years, there will be another planetary alignment. And that's when we intend to send the first Starship rockets to Mars. Yeah. So I think we can probably send quite a few in 2 years. And then if those land successfully and we do not increment the crater count in Mars, crater count before and after equals the same, then we can send people in 4 years. Yeah, we will be illegal aliens on Mars, you know. I guess if there's any, you know, if there's any Martians, maybe they'll make Mars great again. Yeah, you know, Mars did have oceans a long time ago. It seems like, yeah, like when Mars was a lot hotter, it had what appears to be liquid oceans, and if you warmed Mars up, it would have an ocean on about 40% of the Earth's of Mars's surface. So Mars would have an ocean, I think, almost like a mile deep on 40% of the surface if you just warmed it up. So there's a massive amount of frozen ice on Mars. So yeah, it is kind of make Mars great again, because you can warm it up and it can be an Earth-like planet. So I think that's actually very important for the long-term, the longevity of consciousness is to be a multi-planet species. It's actually very important. So, because there's always some chance that something could happen on Earth that's either, you know, a man-made disaster or a natural disaster, like the meteor that killed the dinosaurs. I mean, there have been many mass extinction events in Earth's history, and there will be mass extinction events. Yeah, there is a de facto mass extinction event of humans, actually. The birth rate is plummeting. But the probable lifespan of civilization will be much greater if we are a multi-planet species than if we are a single-planet species. We don't want to be one of those lame one-planet civilizations, is what I'm saying. You know? So we want to be a multi-planet civilization. And you know, I'm not talking about like a lot of resources, but like, I don't know, 1% of our resources seems like a wise move to be a multi-planet species and kind of just ultimately find out what's going on, like visit other star systems. And I think one day, Mars may actually play a role similar to the role that America has played in saving the world. You know, America saved the world 3 times last century. That's a big deal. World War I, II, and the Cold War. So, the Earth would be very different if not for America saving the day 3 times last century. So, yeah, amen indeed. So I think in the future, Mars, you know, they used to call America the New World, and Mars would be the new world, and but actually, you know, planet. So I think one day Mars may save Earth, just as America saved the rest of the world. I think that's a big deal. So. Yeah, as you can tell, I love space and rockets, in case that wasn't obvious. So, well, let's see. We can go right into questions and just sort of have a. It's always good to have get the discussion going with people. So the lights are very bright in my eyes, so I can't see what's going on. There's two big lines. Okay, great. Well, let's see. How should we start? Okay, go ahead. Okay, sure.
Hi, Elon. My name is Ashley, and I'm from Lancaster County. And I have a 7-year-old son named Daniel, and he made me promise that if I got to talk to you, I had to tell you that he thinks that the Cybertruck is the coolest thing that has ever been invented. So he owes me one now for telling you that. But my question centers around higher education. So I'm going to age myself a little bit, but 20 years ago when I graduated high school, I made the decision not to go to college and just to enter in the workforce. And it worked really well for me, but I did get a lot of slack from people that thought that that was kind of crazy. And now I've seen, the attitude toward higher education kind of changing and that not being the only model that we have. So my question's sort of twofold here. So when it comes to my children who, will eventually be needing to make that decision, what decision or what advice would you give in comparison to a trade school, higher education, or just entering the workforce? And from an employer standpoint, in 10 to 15 years, what do you think employers are going to be looking for from this next generation that will be entering the workforce?
Sure. Well, I do think that probably too often people do a university or college thing for 4 years, and it's unnecessary. And then they accrue a lot of debt, and it's hard to pay off the debt, and they often don't learn skills that are very useful. So it's not, I think we should really reconsider whether going to college actually makes sense. I think it doesn't always. So, what I think. And people also forget, what's the point of going to school in general? You're supposed to learn useful things. It's you improve your understanding of the world and learn skills that can help you contribute to your fellow human beings. But very often, a university does the opposite, in fact. It will propagandize kids and not teach them anything useful, and just saddle them with a lot of debt. So I think, what really matters is, are you doing something useful to help your fellow human beings? Are you contributing more than you take? And if you are, that's a great thing. So now we are headed into a pretty wild future here with artificial intelligence and robotics. I think, especially if you look, say, 10 years from now or more, that we're going to have the world is going to look very different. I think it's 80% likely to be good, the glass is 80% full, and most likely we'll probably have a situation which is universal high income. Actually, not universal basic income, but universal high income. And there will be no shortage of goods and services. That is what I think is most likely to occur. And we need to make sure that this AI and these robots are on the side of humanity, obviously. James Cameron made a couple movies about that. You got to watch what you program these robots to do. The example I've used a few times is, when Google Gemini came out, people asked, well, which one's worse, misgendering Caitlyn Jenner or global thermonuclear war? And it said, well, misgendering Caitlyn Jenner is worse. It's we've got a problem with this AI. and even Caitlyn Jenner said, yeah, you should definitely misgender me. That's crazy. That we don't want to have an AI that concludes that the best way to avoid misgendering is to execute all humans, therefore reducing the probability of misgendering to 0 because there are no humans. like that's the kind of crazy stuff that could potentially happen that we want to avoid, which is why I think we want to have a maximum truth-seeking AI. It's got to be kind of based in a good way, and just be honest and truthful and forthright AI. That's the best path to safety for artificial intelligence. So.
Hi, Elon. I'm Christine. I'm from Lancaster County. I want to extend a heartfelt welcome from all of us in Lancaster County.
Thank you.
Thank you for all that you do. My question surrounds government and efficiency. What would be your plan to make government more efficient?
Yeah. Well, so I think first of all, in terms of people sometimes ask, like, where would you start with government efficiency? It's kind of like being in a room where the entire room is targets. And so you can shoot in any direction and not miss. It's like just impossible to miss because every direction is a target. So there's no missed possibility. Now, we do have a fundamental issue, which is that the government is spending far more than it brings in. And the reality is that all government spending is actually taxation. All government spending is taxation. Sometimes people think some of it is taxation and some of it's not, but it's all taxation because the part that is not covered by tax revenue becomes inflation. So you're either taxed directly or you're taxed by inflation, but you're for sure taxed. and so all government spending is taxation. So we have to reduce government spending overall. Like this will be forced upon us in the future because already just the interest payments on the debt are 23% of all federal tax revenue. Just the interest payments. The interest payments now exceed the Defense Department budget, which is $1 trillion a year. That's a lot of money. So just the interest on the debt exceeds what we spend on the military. Just the interest. And that is rising rapidly. So it can't be like, we'll trim a little bit here and there. That's not going to work. There have to be quite radical reductions in cost. Yeah. And I think we just need to be, if, please Lord, Trump wins, and the Department of Government Efficiency happens, we're going to be very open and transparent and be very clear about this is what we're doing. Here are the issues. This is the math for what's being spent, and what and we're going to make it. We're going to make the spending lower, and if somebody's got a better idea for how to make the spending lower, tell us. But if we don't, we're going to bankrupt the country, and so we got to do something, and it's got to be like some pretty big moves.
Drain the swamp.
Yeah, I'd say like drain the swamps. There's so many swamps. It's like there's so many swamps. Yeah. I mean, it's just nutty that there was a massive increase in IRS personnel, and instead of adding people to the Border Patrol, this is totally backwards. It's like you can continue to remain a federal employee, but you have to go guard the border. That's your new job. It's like why are we spending money and applying resources to oppress the American people while rolling out a red carpet for illegals? It doesn't make any sense. So yeah, it would have to be pretty big. I mean, I actually have tried Googling it, and I've asked all the AIs, how many government agencies are there? And even the government doesn't know. Okay, and the AIs don't know. They're like, well, it's about 450, but maybe it's 420. I'm like, 420, no kidding. That's a lot of agencies, just at the federal level. I mean, if you sort of stand back and say, okay, just for a second, let's say we're starting the country again. How many agencies do we need? Do we need more than 99? Because that's 99 is a lot of agencies. You know, like that's still a lot. You know, if you said like, how many people even know 99 agencies? I'd say practically no one knows the names of 99 agencies, let alone the 420 or whatever there are. Yeah. So we have to unwind the situation, and I think we're going to do it, and it's going to unleash a new era of prosperity, because people don't even realize how much they're getting held back by millions of federal regulations, millions, literally. So. And if it turns out that we accidentally got rid of a good regulation, we'll just put it back. It's that easy.
Hey, Elon. I'm Dan from Pennsylvania as well. I am a teacher, public school teacher, and I just bought a Tesla this year, and it's been amazing for my 1 hour commute.
Great.
So thank you about that.
Cool.
Additionally,
self-driving?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Pretty cool.
It blows. Like when I go into the teacher parking lot, and I just tried the Summon today.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Everybody's jaws hit the floor. Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah. So Republicans need to get out the vote, and as the mail-in balloting becomes more common, what can I tell my friends about the safety and security of mail-in ballots?
Yeah.
This election and future elections. And then real quick also.
Sure.
My daughter is 2. Her name is Isabella. She loves the planets and loves astronomy already. And I want to know what I can, as a teacher, do to help inspire her curiosity for the heavens, the stars.
Sure. Well, let's see. With respect to voting integrity, I think probably the best thing to do is to hand it in person. But you can also mail it in, and you can check to see whether your ballot has been received. So it is possible to check online or in person to see if your ballot has been received. But I would encourage people to vote early, because what can happen is that, you know, November 5th comes around, and there's like, you got something critical at work, or there's like a family emergency, or, you know, there's, yeah, some mysterious cybersecurity event that you never know might happen. So, you know, anything can crop up on November 5th, whether it's personal or some, you know, there could be some other issue. So it is best to vote early. Now, it is very encouraging to see the early vote numbers, because if you compare the early vote numbers this year to 2020, there's about I think the last numbers I saw, it's like a 200,000 to 300,000 voter difference from 2020. That's that's major. Because I think it was like an 80,000 vote threshold last time. So Biden won-ish by 80,000 votes. That was the number that was reported. But the interesting thing is that the delta for early votes is now 200, I think, maybe approaching 250 or even 300,000 better than 2020, which is far in excess of the margin of 2020. So Pennsylvania is trending in the right direction. It's very encouraging. But there's still a lot of work to do, and we don't want to be complacent. So definitely get everyone you know to vote. And as I mentioned earlier, people can actually go in person on Monday and Tuesday if they're concerned about putting anything in the mail. And they can actually get their ballot. Like, even if they don't have their ballot, they can literally go to the county office, get the ballot, even though it says absentee, and then hand it in, even though you're not absent. It's weird. But it works. But it stops working on Wednesday, and then the next opportunity is November 5th. So it's kind of quirky, but those are the current rules. And then, let's see, with respect to your daughter, and, you know, I think in order to inspire, like kids are inspired by real amazing imagery. Like they see something amazing, they see a rocket taking off, a rocket landing, or robots walking around, or like cool things, like the stuff that you see in sci-fi movies. And when they see stuff like that, they're inspired automatically. They're inspired because there are real advancements in technology, and that's that's what inspires kids because it should. Like kids are like a great filter for what's awesome. Like you can tell, like if a little kid reacts like, "Wow, that's amazing," and that's real, So like kids love the Cybertruck and they love rockets, and that's because they have no filter. They just say they immediately say what they think, So so it's great new rocket technology that allows us to, like I said, go there and have a permanent science station on the moon. Not just like it's great that we went to the moon 50 plus years ago, but we want to go to the moon and actually have a science base. Like we've got a science base in Antarctica. Well, we should have a science base on the moon, and we should be building a city on Mars. And I actually think it's the long-term future of civilization, I think, could be decided by whether or not we build a self-sustaining city on Mars. And if we do, that is a city that would have millions of people, and it would be like if anybody wants to go to Mars, they could. And that would be an incredibly exciting, inspiring thing to aspire to go to Mars. Be like, wow, let's make that real.
Let's bring her to Mars.
Yes, let's bring her to Mars. Yeah, if she thinks like, wow, one day I could go to Mars, and be one of the Martians, and that would be super awesome, I think. It's wild. It takes 6 months, actually, when you go from Earth to Mars. You're just traveling across this void of nothingness for hundreds of millions of miles until eventually you reach another planet. It's kind of incredible to think that that's even possible. But how amazing would that be? It'd be like, wow. I think that we want to have a future where life is multiplanetary, where we're advancing rocket technology, and like I said, where Star Trek Starfleet Academy is real. And that's what will inspire your daughter.
Thank you.
All right.
Hi, Elon. My name is Lauren from Pennsylvania. Thank you for being here. Thank you for everything you're doing, and congratulations with SpaceX. You and your whole team are absolutely brilliant. I have two specific questions for you, but I was curious because I looked all over on X today, and I didn't see anybody who won the $1 million prize.
Oh, yes.
Was that given out today?
Well, let's see. We are going to give it out tonight, in fact. So let's... Should we go ahead and do it? Yeah. Okay, let's do it. Good timing. All right. Judy Kimura. Yeah. Judy has no idea, by the way. She's just loading now. So. Well, I think Judy's on her way here. Like I said, Judy had learned when you learned. All right. Oh, thank you. All right. Woo-hoo. I mean, we're trying to get attention for this very important petition to support the Constitution, and it's like if we we need the right to free speech, we need the right to bear arms. Otherwise, there is no right to free speech, and Yeah, and it's, people sort of wonder what's up with the $1 million prizes? I'm like, well, we needed to get the legacy media to talk about it. And I just knew that they would be like complaining like hell about it. That like for sure complaining on every newspaper and every TV station are complaining like crazy. And I was like, great, that's going to get the word out. Most welcome. All right.
Can you say hi to my son, Caden and
Yes.
Kaylee? Caden and Kaylee.
Hi, Caden and Kaylee. Hi. All right. So we're going to be giving out $1 million every day through November 5th. And all you have to do is sign the petition in support of the First and Second Amendment. That's it. You don't even have to vote. It would be nice if you voted, but you don't have to. And that to support basically sign something you already believe in, and you get a chance to win $1 million every day from now through the election. Yeah.